What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Primetime, Carolina, the best damn Panthers podcast that you've ever seen, heard, listened to, wherever you may be doing it. We're coming to you live once again. Dave, what's going on, brother? How you doing?
Man, I'm just living, man. Just doing the
Just
thing, man.
living. I love it.
Doing the
Love it.
dang thing.
Just love to live, man. God,
Yeah,
it's so great.
just crushing it.
You know what's better than being alive, Dave?
Being alive when the Panthers are playing.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
And now we have the schedule release. We meant to get to this a couple days ago, but it didn't work out, unfortunately. But here we are now. I know you've all been dying and itching to get our opinions, our hot takes on the Panthers' upcoming schedule. First off, the video that the social media team released. I know the social media team for the Panthers has kind of had this like a legendary status for the past couple of years. They just never seem to miss. But I'll be honest, I really wasn't feeling that video that much. What were your thoughts on that?
Yeah. Honestly, I don't even think I even watched the whole thing all the way through. It's hard for me to get behind a 9-minute video that's featuring Bill Voth and whatever that reporter's name is, that chick. So, you know.
Yeah. I mean,
Not
usually they usually do. I mean, this wasn't bad, but I think they've set the bar so high that I was kind of just like, I mean, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't great.
I mean, it was okay, I guess. I mean, it was cool. There was parts in it that were like funny, I guess. But like I said, I don't even think I watched the whole thing all the way through. So,
No, I totally get it. Let's see here.
but you know what? The one last year, I didn't watch that one all the way through either. I don't think.
I did watch the other one last year. I watched a decent amount of it, but
Yeah.
usually their posts are pretty good. But people were kind of hyping it up this year, but it was okay.
I don't think
But
I'm much of a schedule release guy.
see, this is the most I've ever been into a schedule release. I think it's just because we're doing this show. 9 times out of 10, I wouldn't really care.
Well, it's hard for me to look, past week one. I'll look at the primetime games, but I look at the first game and I'm like, well, I'm just going to think about that. I don't need to think about what's happening in December right now.
And they're like, oh, let's do a schedule prediction. It's like,
yeah.
Okay, how am I supposed to know that?
Them and the mock draft guys go have a beer and put everything together for
hell yes
the next 2 years.
So, yeah, it's tough when it comes to doing the schedule release and trying to pick games because you're like, oh, we should win this game, and then the game happens and then you get absolutely smoked, or you absolutely demolish a team, or it's a close game. Like, I mean, you never know. Injuries happen, things happen in the season. It's impossible to predict, but something fun to do, I guess. So what we're going to do is we're going to break down every single game. We'll run through them all, see what we think, our thoughts on everything. Maybe give a prediction here or there, nothing too concrete, but we'll see what we think. I think the Panthers had one of the weakest schedules in the NFL, which is fantastic news for us because I feel like every year we always have a tough schedule according to the numbers.
Yeah, it doesn't start out too bad, I don't think. It's just that last portion of the season, I think it's 4 or 5 games. That's a real rough stretch. But overall, it's not too bad.
The ending stretch is a bit rough, if I do say so, just at face value. But, things can happen, things can change. So we'll see how it goes. But I do think there's a strong possibility that if we, play to what we think our potential could be, we can get out to a pretty good start this year. So without further ado, Dave, we're playing the Indianapolis Colts preseason number. No, I'm kidding. No one cares. So yeah, 3 preseason games this year. We're playing the Colts.
One note on that. I know you were joking, but I think there were some reports coming out that we were talking to the Colts about maybe doing joint practices before that. So that's some kind of news.
I can get down with that.
Yeah.
So we've got 3 preseason games this year with the addition of 1 regular season game, which I think is great. Can get the preseason over as quickly as possible. Playing the Colts, then we're playing the Ravens, then we're playing Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh, that's always a staple. I never knew the exact reason why, but I always when my dad, growing up, that's how I became a Panthers fan because of him. And, I always asked, I was like, why do we always play the Steelers in preseason? Is it like something? And apparently him, the owner, the Rooney family, and Jerry Richardson are like super close, I guess. And they kind of just made this agreement to always play a preseason game. Is that correct? I don't know if you know that.
Yeah, I guess I've heard that before,
Mm-hmm.
that it was like the owners were tight, so that's just how it worked, and that's just how it's
Yeah.
been for as long as I can remember.
Yeah, but we've always played the Steelers as the fourth preseason game.
Oh.
So I would have loved to been a fly on the wall when they're like, all right, here's what we're gonna do. Every last preseason game of the year, we're gonna play each other. It's gonna be
I don't
great.
I don't know if you ever wanted to be a fly on the wall around Jerry Richardson.
But yeah, I don't know. They've always played each other, so I've always found that interesting. I thought maybe that would end whenever Tepper became the owner, but I guess not.
Well, he's got the
So
Steelers ties too, so I'm sure he's
yeah,
all
that's
about it.
true. That's true. Actually, I don't even know. I didn't think about that. But only tidbit I'll say about the preseason is that I'm actually kind of hyped for the preseason this year, just because we've got a lot of good young guys. I want to see them do well. And my buddy is actually a diehard Ravens fan, as I've mentioned a couple times before. So we might go just to say, like, why not? But we'll see. I'm just interested to see the young guys play.
Yeah, obviously we got a bunch of new guys on the team, so that's your first chance to see him play. That's gonna be exciting, and it's cool that they finally got rid of that fourth preseason game because, God, it was kind of torture for everybody.
Yeah, that last game's always a barn burner. Ooh, guys, see, I'm
Well,
yawning talking about it.
well, the
Um,
first, the first one, it's like you're always excited because it's your first chance to watch football, or at least the NFL in forever. Then the
then they
second
get
one, it's like the starters get a little bit more play time, so it's kind of a little better than the first one. And then the third one, the starters, go to about halftime, maybe a little after halftime. It's the, what do they call it? The practice run, the dress rehearsal for the week one game. And
correct.
then week four, it's like everyone battling for the, you know, 50th, 51st, 52nd, 53rd spot on the roster. And it's just,
It's an all-out war. I love it.
yeah, yeah.
So we'll go ahead and get into the regular season. Week one, NFL is so rigged, man. Like the way they set stuff up is, hilarious and awesome at the same time. So not only, we've got a lot of good matchups this year, but week one, the NFL, they know what they're doing. They want the viewers. They got the storylines. At home against the New York Jets, Sam Darnold's former team, we've got Zach Wilson, the promising new rookie, versus the guy that just dumped and traded Sam Darnold on the Panthers. And guess who's going to be there to watch it? Me and you.
Hey, that's
I
right.
love it. So, yeah, we did get tickets to the game. I'm pumped, man. This is going to be, excluding from last year, this is going to be my third year in a row doing the home opener. I did the Cowboys home opener. I did the Rams home opener. Skip last year, obviously, and then this year I'll be back. So I'm excited about that.
Heck yeah, man. I'm excited too. This is actually a game I was planning on going to, regardless when in the season it was, but it ended up drawing week one, so I'll be there.
Cool. And this will be obviously I always think about teams I've seen play. I haven't seen the Jets play yet, so add it to my list. I've seen the Jets. I've seen the Saints a couple times. I've seen the Texans. I've seen the Vikings. I've seen the Eagles. I've seen the Bucks. Probably another team or two in there I can't think of. But I've seen – that's probably all the teams I've seen so far. So add the Jets to that list.
Yeah, I probably couldn't list all the teams I've seen, but I don't think the Jets are on that list. So I think this is my first time seeing the Jets too.
Gotcha. And add the Cowboys to that list and the Rams. I mentioned that earlier. So, but week one, playing the Jets, I can't think of a better draw, honestly. I think this is the perfect game for the Carolina Panthers. A team that is, rebuilding, obviously, but, on more of the come up than, being down so far. This is the perfect opener against a team that was the second worst team in the NFL last year. They've got a rookie quarterback, new coaching staff. They're playing on the road. This is the perfect, way to set the tone for the Panthers. And by the way, Sam Darnold playing his old team, he's going to be fired up. He's going to want to, play his ass off. I can't wait, man. I think this is the perfect way to open the season for the Panthers at home.
Yeah, I would love to see Sam Darnold go out there and throw for, 350, 3 touchdowns or whatever, but I'm not sure that's feasible. I would love to see it, but I'm not sure we're going to. But at the same time, I think for him, as long as he just plays smart and efficient, I mean, I think, it's a great situation for the Panthers because, Zach Wilson didn't face the toughest schedule in college, and it's going to be his first game. And,
Correct.
he's going to be lining up against Brian Burns, Hassan Reddick, Derek Brown, Denzel Perryman. J.C. Horn's going to be at corner. Jeremy Chinn's going to be at safety. The Panthers got playmakers all over the place on defense. So you got to assume, they're going to be able to get to him, pressure him, make him make mistakes. And I think it'll be a big day for the Panthers, but especially their young defense.
I think the offense, it's going to take a while for things to get going. Week one, you always see the offense come out and, 9 times out of 10, they're a bit rusty. They're not on point. It's a lot of runs. You're trying to get the pass. You're trying to work out all the kinks. We're not seeing the full offense till like weeks 4, 5, and 6, respectively. So I think that I expect the Panthers to come out, run the football, let Darnold, get acclimated. But this is going to be on the defense. The defense that we have should feast on this offensive line of the Jets. I mean, I'm talking multiple sacks, some turnovers. The defense will win this game for us, and I do expect the Panthers to win this game. I would be highly disappointed if we drop this game at home to the Jets. But, yeah, I fully expect to win this game, and I think this is, the perfect team to open up the season against. And Sam Darnold is going to be fired up, man. I can't wait.
Yeah, and, the Jets are a team that are just kind of starting to put it together, new coach, new quarterback, So this is all you can hope for that your team's going to open up the season with. I mean, it's not a super tough matchup. Give you a chance to build some momentum, build some chemistry. And like you said, I fully expect that we win this game. So, and I would honestly be disappointed if it was a super close game because I think we should, beat them by at least 10 or 14 points.
Week one is tough because, it's just the start of the new season. Guys haven't played. You're working out all the kinks. I think even if it is a close game, I wouldn't be disappointed because, it's just the start of the year and sometimes games are a little bit closer than normal. But I still think we're the better team, and I think we come out starting out the year 1-0, which I think is great.
Yeah, disappointed might have been a strong word. I'll never be disappointed with winning.
Never.
I just really want to see Zach Wilson have a hard day that day.
And I think he will. And
and speaking of – I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
I was going to say, speaking of Brian Burns, I haven't heard anything officially, but the rumors, I think he put something on social media. He's switching to number 9.
Really?
And I know you're a numbers guy and a jersey guy, so I thought I'd mention that.
You know what? I think that I'm no longer a Brian Burns fan. I quit.
It's pretty disappointing.
Is that really true? I haven't heard about that. Is that like today?
I last couple days, I think he put something that was on either on Instagram or Twitter, and it was him wearing a number 9 jersey.
I don't know, man, because I was going to buy his jersey this year, and I don't want to buy it if he's wearing number 9. I wanted to buy the 53.
The 53 was clean, man.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, when he first picked 53, I hated it. But once I saw him on the field with it, I thought it looked good.
How's the saying go? The man makes the number doesn't make the man.
Correct.
He made 53 cool.
He did.
So it wasn't the coolest number. It's interesting though because I think he has like some type of like I don't know if it's clothing or he has like some kind of brand, and I think 53 is like in the logo. It's like I think it's like a B and a B and 53 are somehow part of the logo. So I don't know what he's gonna do about that if he's gonna switch his number to 9. I guess he'll just leave it and it won't make as much sense.
I don't see why guys are so interested in that. Like I sound like such a hater, but at the same time, like it's I don't know, like why? Like why? Like you're the number you have, like people associate with this number. Let's just change it. Like I don't know. If you're a rookie, like I get it. Like you haven't established yourself, so that's fine. But I don't know. That's just
Yeah.
why.
Well, the rumors are him and DJ Moore's next. So
We'll see. I might have to buy a different jersey then. I'm not sure who I'd get, but we'll see. So, yeah, I think we both agree the Panthers open up 1-0 against the Jets. We'll both be there to see it live, so it's going to be great post-game reaction. Week 2, another home game, which is awesome. 2 back-to-back home games to start the year. We're playing the New Orleans Saints. Typically, I would mark this off as a loss the past couple of years at least. But this year, obviously, Drew Brees is retired. I don't know what to expect from the Saints. I think, offensively, they still have weapons, obviously, but they don't have that great decision maker, that Hall of Fame quarterback back there. Jameis Winston, he's had a year to sit on the bench. He's had a year to learn. But is he still the same old Jameis? I don't know. I really don't know what to expect from this game. What do you think?
yeah, I'm with you. I don't really know what to expect either. The Saints have been one of the most talented teams in the league for a number of years now, and they don't have Drew Brees anymore. I don't know. Personally, I've never really thought that Jameis was that bad, even when he was throwing all those interceptions. So, if he can come in and run that offense and they can keep scoring points, who knows? They might still be a really good team, but I don't know. It's gonna be real weird seeing them with another quarterback back there.
Yeah, I agree. I don't really know what to expect. I mean, they have a very solid defense and a great offense when the quarterback position is there. And I never really thought I thought Jameis had he's not, I don't think he was as bad as the interception numbers look, but I think he's going to be better than people give him credit for this season. I don't know, how consistent and how long term that will be, but I think that it'll be a close game. I think the Panthers obviously are going to be at home. I think it's going to be a closer game than most years. I think it's kind of a toss-up. It's hard for me to say because if this is a Drew Brees-led Saints, I don't feel that good about it. But under Jameis Winston, we've got some guys. I think it's going to be a close game. I think it could be a toss-up. It can go either way.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to be at home. Jameis is going to be, in his second start, as their guy. So I'll say we win that one, get out to a hot start.
I'm more on the side of us winning as well. But we'll see. But 1-1, 2. I mean, you start 2-0 at home. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be good. But I think I have to see what the Saints do week 1 before I can even think about week 2 because I just want to see how they look. But okay, so that's our first 2 games starting at home. Week 3 at Houston, the hopefully Deshaun Watson-less Texans. To be frank, I think if Deshaun Watson isn't playing, I don't think he's going to be. The Panthers should win this game.
I agree. I don't. Even if he does play, I think we should win. If he doesn't play, I think, we should go out there and prove that we're by far the better team. That's just how I see it.
Who is their quarterback right now if Deshaun doesn't play? Did this side Tyrod Taylor, I think? I have no idea.
They signed somebody. Good. Let me check my good friend Google.
Who is the Texans' current starting quarterback if Deshaun Watson does not return? It's a good question. I think
okay, yeah, they did sign Tyrod Taylor. You were right.
Okay, awesome.
And then they drafted Davis Mills.
Correct. Okay, so yeah, I mean, I expect Tyrod to start. So yeah, I think that's the game we should win. The Texans, without Deshaun Watson, really aren't that great of a team anyway. But without him, they are much worse. So I think the Panthers should go and win that game. We've got a pretty good track record against the Texans, so I like our chances there. So that puts us at 2-1, 3-0 potentially to start the year. I like it. And then we go on the road again the following week at Dallas. The last time we played in Cowboys Stadium, it was amazing. Thanksgiving, we destroyed the Cowboys. Damn, that was an awesome year.
God, was that the last time we were there?
I think so. Yeah, I think in 2015. Because the last time they came was we were at Carolina, and I was there at that game. So
Yeah, I guess.
I think,
Yeah, that was 2018. So yeah, it must have been that
yeah.
must have been the last time we were in Dallas.
Um, what do I think about this game? I think I don't know, man. I don't really know what to think about the Cowboys. Sometimes they've got an amazing offense. Their defense is very, you know, very porous. They lack a lot of areas there. I think it could be a shootout potentially, but I look at this game and I think, you know, typically if we were under Ron Rivera, I would say, you know what, we are the better team, but I think we're going to lose this game because I don't think we're being well coached. I think this is a game where the Panthers establish themselves and Matt Rule just say, you know what, we can go to a high-profile place like Dallas, where there's a lot of people in a national game where everyone's watching, and we can go in there and we can hold our own. Dallas isn't a great team by any means, but they can score the ball. I think the Panthers go in there and make a statement, and they win this game.
You think so?
I do.
Yeah, it's always tough to try and analyze Dallas because they're usually much more overrated, of a team than they actually are. I'll say we win that game too. Their offense does make you a little nervous, but they couldn't win the NFC East last year, so it's not like they're a powerhouse team right now.
Correct. And I expect our defense to be much better than last year. And I think we can go in there and we can score with the best of them, I believe. And I think our defense can go in there and hold their own, stop the run, do what we got to do. I think, it might be a shootout as well, but we'll see. I think we should win that game. So we'll see. So that puts us 4 weeks in. We're Jets, Saints, Houston, Dallas. I like that schedule. Nothing too tough, nothing too crazy. Kind of get the ball rolling.
Yeah, the way this schedule starts out, we could really go on a run and winning some games.
We could. I don't mean to sound like a homer here, but there's a lot of winnable games on the schedule so far. From what I think we could be and what I think we will be, there's a lot of winnable games here. They could go 4-0. They could. I don't think they will, but they can.
Yeah. They could easily go 4-0. Those Cowboys and Saints games, those aren't, unstoppable opponents, but
correct.
They make you a little nervous. And then, Philadelphia, in week 5, I'm not super scared of Philadelphia either. That's a winnable game. He's at home.
I agree 100%. I think it's a very winnable game. Eagles, they have an unproven person at quarterback. I personally like Jalen Hurts. I think he is a little bit better than people give him credit for. But, we'll see what happens there. The Eagles, they're in their own rebuild right now. They don't have much of a defense at all. They just drafted Devontae Smith. They're not sure about their quarterback. I think that's a game that we can win. I think our defense can force some turnovers. I think, it might be a little bit closer than people expect, but I think that's another very winnable game for the Panthers at home.
Yeah, I do too. And like you said, when you have a young quarterback like that you don't really know what you're getting, it kind of boils down to how does their season start, up until that point. If Jalen Hurts comes out and he struggles for those first 4 weeks, their wheels could have already fallen off by the time week 5 gets there.
True.
And, we could take advantage. And, you and I have said it, we expect this defense to be a very good unit next year. I'll go ahead and say it. I'm expecting them to be at least top 10 or 12.
I agree. I think top 12 is a good, and I think I would expect top 10. I think this defense is going to be very, very good. They're going to overachieve in a lot of ways. They've got the talent. Come mid-season, I would love to see what this defense is going to look like. It's going to look great, hopefully. So after that, we're looking at home against Minnesota. A lot of home games, man. I'm digging it. I feel like we always play on the road.
Right.
So against Minnesota, this is kind of a weird game. I could totally see us just losing this game. I don't know why, but I could just see that. Like, it's a game that the Panthers could probably win. But if they start out the way that I think they can start out, you're due to drop a game here and there. The Vikings have an okay defense. They've got a very good offense. Kirk Cousins is Kirk Cousins, but they've got guys on the outside. They've got guys at the run game. I just have a feeling the Panthers are just going to lose this game for some reason. I don't know.
Yeah, the Vikings are one of those teams that it's just like it's always just a really even matchup when we play them. Or I don't know. It's just like they're one of those teams that just always gets us. And it's like even when we get them, it like feels like they got us. I don't know how to describe it, but we'll see. I mean, like you said, their defense is not so great, but if J.C. Horn can lock up Jefferson and stop the run with Cook, I mean, we could. I would say we should win that game, but I can totally see. I could see us losing it too.
It depends on what kind of where we're at that point in the season. If we're like firing on all cylinders, we can go out there and smoke these guys, or it could just be one of those games where we just drop them because I don't know. I think Vikings are sometimes they look like a very good playoff team, and then sometimes they look terrible. I don't know. There's really no in between. So that's kind of a toss up to me. I say we're going to lose, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, we can call it a loss. I'm fine with that. At some point, we have to chalk up a loss.
At some point, we have to lose. If it was up to us, we're good 18-0. Yeah. So the following week, we're at the Giants. I think this is a game that the Panthers should win.
The Kelvin Benjamin Bowl.
Yes. Can we talk about that real fast? Kelvin Benjamin going to play some tight end for the Giants.
Hilarious.
So that's just,
What the meme that was going around, do you remember when Booger McFarland, I think it was on Monday Night Football, he said this guy's one Popeyes biscuit away from playing tight end.
Correct.
So everybody said, well, he must have had that Popeyes biscuit because now he's a tight
end. You know what? I don't have anything against Kelvin Benjamin. I think,
I do. I hate Kelvin Benjamin.
Is that right?
Yeah, dude. Can't
Tell me
stand
why.
that, man.
Tell me why. Is it because of the whole Cam Newton thing?
I mean, I guess mostly, but I really hated him before that just because he was such a disappointment.
It's weird because his rookie year he was so good, and then the following year, I mean, he was having a decent season, and then he got hurt. I mean, he got hurt early on, but then when he came back, it just kind of fell apart for some reason. And then,
well, I think for me, it was just like once he got hurt, and we had the year we had in 2015, and it was like, and then 2016 was such a down year. And then 2017, we traded him halfway through the year.
Yeah.
And it was just so obvious that he was what was holding us back so much.
Yeah.
Just by wasting half of the field by being slow and lazy.
Yeah. I remember at the midway point through the season that we traded him, and a lot of fans were pissed and raging, but I don't even know what we ended up getting for that trade, but I think we won because the guy, I mean, he kind of bounced around the league and they kind of floundered out, and then now he's trying to make a comeback. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of him. If he does well, cool. But, I think had a hot start once he kind of got acclimated to the league, maybe didn't have the best discipline and the best work ethic. So it kind of showed us who.
Yeah, and that seems, when you're as physically gifted as he is, I mean, it boils down to work ethic, which he clearly didn't have.
Correct. So, we'll see what he's got, but, whatever happens. Taking a look at that game against the Giants, I think that I think that can be a little bit of a closer game than people anticipate, just because it's on the road. Sometimes road games against bad teams scare me.
Yeah. See, I don't even see the Giants really as a bad team. I think last year I just think they weren't quite there yet.
Yeah.
But I think they've been building a team that's, you know, pretty decent. I mean, they can play defense. They don't have much on offense that's going to have you shaking in your boots, but
Yeah.
I don't see them as a bad team. I
hmm
just, they're not a good team, but they're not a bad team in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be honest. I like Daniel Jones a little bit more than some people do. I think. I think a lot of people clown him when they draft him. I mean, I think he's kind of been like you know Eli Manning Jr. in a way. I mean, sometimes he's actually really good, and then sometimes he's kind of turns the ball over a lot. But I like their defense. They've been building some pieces there. At the same time, they've obviously got some pieces on offense. I think this is a game I could see the Panthers losing as well, but I could also see them winning as well. I think I could see it being a super tight game where we lose at the end, or the Panthers just come in there and just ball out for some reason. I don't know. I'm kind of 50-50 on this one.
I mean, I expect us to win this game, but nothing is surprising in the NFL. You can lose any game any week. So
Correct. I'm gonna say we win, but I don't know how it's gonna go down. But I think after coming off a loss that we think to the Vikings, they should come out and hopefully get a victory back. So the following weekend, it will be on October 31st. Happy Halloween at Atlanta. We're gonna lose this game.
I I I think I agree with you. I think I'm pretty much expecting us to, if we don't lose this game, I expect us to lose to Atlanta one out of the two games, at
Correct.
least.
Um,
With their offense, they're going to win some games. They're going to steal some games. So
They are. I think for a number of years now, the Falcons have had our number. I think we will split this year. I think we'll win at home, but I think on the road, it just might be a bit too much, and they'll be able to score a lot of points. So I would love to win this game, but I just think, you know,
yeah, I
it's
agree
tough.
with you.
Divisional games are tough. I mean, no matter how bad the other opponent is. I mean, Atlanta's not really a bad team either, but I just see us losing that game. I'm just not confident against playing the Falcons away.
I agree with you. Hopefully we win it just like any other game, but I expect us to drop at least one of our two against Atlanta just because they're so talented on offense. You know,
Correct.
it's tough to keep up with a team like that twice a year.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think we agree on that. The following week is at home against the New England Patriots. Hopefully still by then, the Cam Newton-led Patriots. That's going to be I think that's going to be an interesting game. Number one reason why is because my girlfriend and her family are diehard Patriots fans, and I have a strong inkling I might be going to that game as well, which would be awesome. But can you imagine? Remember when Cam, used to when we played the away teams? Well, technically he is away this time. He would kind of stare down at the
Mm-hmm.
tunnel when they walked out.
Yep.
That's gonna happen at this game, and I can't I
It's going to
can't
be
wait
pretty personal, man.
to see that. It's gonna be super personal. Um, I th- I think it's gonna be weird for me to pull against Cam, but
Yeah.
I don't really know what to expect from the Patriots this year. I think that I don't know. I mean, I think that they can be a solid team, but I expect the Panthers to win this game personally.
Do you?
We've had New England's number the past couple years, and I think that's going to continue.
I
They're on
expect
the
to lose
road.
this. Sorry, go ahead.
They're on the road. Cam Newton's going to do his best, but I think we've got some tricks up our sleeve as well. I don't know. This game could go either way, but I think the Panthers might win this game.
Yeah, I expect to lose this game. I I think the Patriots are going to be a really good team next year, just because of all the weapons they brought in on offense. First of all, but all the guys they have coming back on defense. I just think, they're going to be a well-rounded team next year. And we know from the past that Belichick kind of has Sam Darnold's number. So until we're
Well,
proven otherwise, I'm going to
I
say
would
we lose this one.
I wouldn't be surprised if we lost, The thing that does scare me is that usually when Cam Newton's pretty pissed off, he's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
So I expect to see blood and guts part two. But at the same time, we've always kind of had the Patriots number. I feel like, obviously besides from the Super Bowl forever ago.
Yeah.
Um,
How much of us having the Patriots number has been Cam Newton?
there's a lot of that. There's also a lot of Luke Kuechly, maybe holding in the end zone, but the ref's not calling it.
Yeah. I mean, I
Um,
guess that's part of it too.
but the Patriots aren't what they were years ago. Um, I think they should be a very good team. I think they'll be in contention this year. But at the same time, I don't think they don't scare me like they used to. I could see the Panthers, this being a very, very close game, but I could see the Panthers defense, kind of showing out and getting after Cam Newton and forcing him to make some mistakes. And I think we might shock some people with how well we'll play against this team. We could lose, but I also think we can win.
I don't know, man. When I take a step back and think about, I don't count last year for the Patriots because it was just a cluster and their defense was gone and they had nobody on offense. And when I think back to 2 years ago when Brady was there and he had no receivers and their offense was horrible, they were still, I think, 10-0 or something like that because their defense was so good. And I expect their defense to be playing at that level again, but I expect it to be with Cam Newton and John O. Smith, the tight end they just brought in. I can't say his name. Hunter Henry, the wide receivers they brought in, Kendrick Bourne. Didn't they bring in another wide receiver too?
Um,
Aguilar. I mean, I just feel like they have a lot of pieces on offense they didn't have last year, and I think they're going to be right back to being the Patriots we all know and hate.
I'm actually going to have to disagree somewhat respectfully. Um, I do agree with the defense part. I think that they're going to be much better. Belichick's the defensive guy. Their defense will be, back to what they should be. But, you know, I love Cam Newton. He's my favorite player of all time. But I know last year was, there was some good and there was some bad, and then he got COVID, and then the year was just kind of up and down. It was just kind of a weird year. But Cam Newton is, unfortunately, he is not what he was years ago. And as much as the Patriots didn't have weapons, they still had the best quarterback of all time running that offense and running that system, who's been there for 20 years. I just I think Cam Newton's going to do well at a lot of points this year, but at the same time, I think he can make a lot of mistakes. And I just don't think they're going to be as lethal on offense. I know they signed a lot of guys, but I hope they're good for his sake because I love Cam Newton. But I don't know, man. I just don't think they're necessarily are what they used to be. And we'll see what happens. It depends. They've got to play their games this year too. We'll see how they look like. You never know. Cam Newton could get hurt, and Mac Jones might be playing. This could be a completely different story. So,
Well, I think about this. When Cam Newton had his best passing year, the only time he threw for 4,000 yards his rookie year, he had Greg Olson and he had Jeremy Shockey. He had
correct.
two tight ends. He was comfortable with it. And that's kind of where the Panthers failed him. They never got him that second tight end after Shockey retired. They never had that second guy when it was proven that that was the best he could do in an offense throwing the ball. And then, you look at the best offenses the Patriots ever had. It was with Gronkowski and Hernandez, RIP. So, you take the best offenses the Patriots ever had. You take the best Cam Newton ever played, and you bring in those two tight end sets, which that's a pretty lethal tight end combo they got down there. You get those guys work in the middle of the field. You get Aguilar, who's, not always the most sure-handed guy, but he can blow by anybody. And Bourne's a very, good outside receiver too. I think it's going to be tough to stop the Patriots, especially, you look at last year. most of what they did was running Cam Newton, and it was because Josh McDaniels was like, "Oh, this is awesome. I've never had a quarterback I can do this with." So it was like they weren't able to throw the ball because they didn't have any decent receivers to throw to,
Mm-hmm.
and they still made it work. You know, yeah, Cam Newton didn't have his best season, but he still scored 20 touchdowns in 14 games or whatever he played in an offense that was clearly talentless.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. We'll see what happens.
We'll see. We'll see. I think it can go either way, but we'll see. It's definitely going to be a lot of fun though, playing against Cam Newton, and I fully expect there to be a lot of trash talk at
Yeah,
some point, and I love it. I love it. I love it.
no doubt.
Next game is going to be at Arizona. We played there a couple years ago. We've always seemed to beat the Cardinals. We played them last season. We beat them. But, this season, the addition of J.J. Watt, you've got Hopkins, you've got other weapons, you've got Kyler Murray. This is a tough one for me because I think the Cardinals can be a very, very good team, but at the same time, sometimes they lack that it factor, the discipline. We seem to have their number at home lately. The past couple times we played them, just in general. I don't know, man. But at the same time, I think we could also lose this game. So I'm personally going to say that we're going to lose this game.
Yeah, I mean, on paper, the Cardinals seem like they'll be one of the best teams, better teams in the league.
Mm-hmm.
I'll call it a loss too. Kyler Murray's really turned into quite a great NFL quarterback, which I was never sure he was going to be able to do as small as he was, but man, he's proved me wrong. So I just think, the last couple of years, it's kind of been like their defense wasn't quite good enough. And I think they've made some strides. And I think they're, building a good enough defense to start winning some games to go with their, offense who can, score 50 points in a game.
Correct.
Any given Sunday, if things are going their way. So,
yeah, man. You never know. So I think we might lose this game as well. But, at the same time, Panthers come out and score a lot of points. So, all in all, we're looking at it right now. I mean, we've got, kind of a hot start. Then a couple as we get down the schedule, maybe skidding a little bit, a couple games here and there. The following week, we're versus Washington. I love Washington's defense, but they don't scare me on offense at all with the quarterback situation. They've got a good talent around them, but I think this could be a little bit of a closer game than people anticipate, but I expect the Panthers to win this game.
I'd say I expect to win that game too. You never know what could happen with Fitzmagic back there, but other than that, I expect to win this game too. And honestly, as good as their defense can be, Matt Rule and Joe Brady seemed to do fine against their defense last year. So, and that was with Teddy Dishwater back there. So, I'll call that one a win.
Yeah, I think so too. I think their defense is really, really good. They've got good talent on offense, but then when a quarterback, I think that gives us the advantage. And this is all on the basis that Sam Darnold plays well. So,
yeah, we're really putting a lot in that. That hat, but.
And then the next week we're at Miami. I don't really know what to think about the Dolphins. I feel like they're a very, very good team outside of Tua, which is a question mark. This is tough because I don't know what's going to happen at quarterback. I don't know if he's still going to be starting or they might be hurt. He might move on from him. I'm going to go on a limb here and say the Panthers will be good enough to win this game, personally.
I'm going to agree with you, Tanner. I like the Dolphins a lot as a team. I think they're a really good team, but I'm just not sold on Tua. And until I am, I'm not going to put a lot of faith in the Dolphins. So I'm going to say we beat the Dolphins.
I'm gonna agree there as well. I think they're a very, very good team, but I think they're, we'll have to see how that quarterback situation plays out. But even if Tua does play, I don't know. I just think we can beat the Dolphins. I just do. So then we get a bye week. Thank goodness. We'll be dead by then. Then we come back from the bye week. We're playing the Falcons. They beat us at home. They beat us in Atlanta. We're beating them at home. I like this. I think it's going to be a little bit more of a defensive game on our end, but I don't see us losing twice to the Falcons. I think we get this one.
Yeah, I agree. I say we win. We win that one against the Falcons.
Following week, we've got at Buffalo. This is actually a Saturday night game. It could be maybe a flex game people were talking about. Bills, I mean, they're Panthers North, man. They are basically our twin brothers. I like Josh Allen a lot. I like the Bills' defense a lot. This is just the type of game I could see. I could see us winning, but if I had to make a bet, I think the Panthers will probably lose this game. I think the Bills are a very, very good team. Unfortunately, I don't want to lose the team that's taken so much from us, but I just if this was at home, I'd feel better at it. But on the road, Bills Mafia, I think we might lose this game.
Yeah, on the road, Week 15 in December in Buffalo against a very good team already. That's a lot stacked against you, so we can draw this one up as a loss.
Yeah, I agree. I think I think we could win, but at the same time, if I had to put money on it, I'm going with the Bills. Next week, so we're down to our last three games. They're all divisional games. They do this every year. They pick one team, and then we play them twice in 3 weeks. I don't know why. I think it's stupid, but whatever. We're playing Tampa Bay at home. I'm going to come
funny is it's usually the Saints. When the Saints now that the Bucks are really good, they're like, well, let's give them the Bucks too out of the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Why not give us, I don't know, the Falcons? I don't know. Oh, well. Last 3 games of the year, I'm going to come flat out and say it. Panthers are going to beat the Bucks in Carolina week 1. Or not week 1, sorry. Week whatever.
I expect, our division to be – I expect us to be good enough, and I expect our division to be good enough that we just flat out split it. So I expect us to beat everybody once, and I expect us to get beaten once. So
correct. So
hopefully I can be wrong and we can pull off 2 wins against somebody, but I expect us to split with everybody and go 1-1 against with everybody. So we can call that one a win, being that it's at home. We can give them stupid week 18 anyway. We'll be resting our starters by then, so it's no worries.
No worries. And then at the Saints, I think we agree that we'll probably lose that game. But then again, it depends on how the Saints year works out. Hopefully they're so bad, Taysom Hill's back there throwing passes, and we could just go in for the kill.
Yeah. You know what, man? I mean, I could see things, heading south for the Saints. Drew Brees is gone. I don't know how their cap situation's working out, but seems like they're kind of on the downhill.
You know what?
This might be their last year of relevancy.
I'm going to change my mind. The Panthers are beating the Saints twice this year.
Yeah. And the Saints aren't going to score a touchdown in either game.
Nope. But I think that, I'm going to go with it. The Panthers are going to beat the Saints twice this year. I think we are so tired of just being so bad in the division. I think, we're tired.
You know what? You just convinced me. I think the Panthers are going to beat the Saints twice this year.
Yeah,
screw that splitting thing. Pretend I never said that. Panthers.
I could see the Bucks because they just won the Super Bowl. The Falcons always seem to have our number at least one game of the year. But this year, tables have turned. The Saints are trading quarterbacks. They've got a different guy up there. It could go either way. I expected to go south before I expected to go north. I think we can win both games this year. And then, obviously, the last game of the year at Tampa, I think we agree. But, it's actually – this is a tough one because, what if the Bucks are the 1 seed and they're resting their starters and, they don't really care and you don't know what we're going to do. So it's tough to say. If we're both competing in the division, like maybe for the division or seeding, I think if it's both of our teams starting and playing against each other, I think we'll lose. But, if we got something to play for and they're kind of just like, we're the 1 seed, we don't care, they might rest their guys.
Yeah, it's hard to make predictions right now about January 9th. So, like I said, I say we'll split with the Bucks. So, whether it's this one or the one at home, we go 1-1.
Okay. So there's your season rundown by yours truly. Looking at it, I'm seeing the buffer between 8 to 10 wins. I think at worst case scenario, we're like 7 wins, 7 to 8 wins. I think best case scenario, we're in that 9 to 10 range. I think that seems appropriate, 8 to 10.
Yeah, I think 9-10's probably the magic number here.
Yeah.
It's kind of like if we went 9-7, you'd probably predicted about 9-7, 10-6, but they gave us a bonus game against the lowly Texans, so we can take that and put it in our pocket.
There you go. So we'll take that extra W. But yeah, so we're looking at, I think, that 8, 9, 10 range is kind of what we're going for. Anything more than that would be ecstatic. Anything less, I'll be disappointed. But I think the Panthers, are going to be in contention for the playoffs this year for the wild card. It depends on what the divisional teams do when we talk about winning the division. But I think, even if we miss the playoffs, it won't be by much. And then I think the following season, will be our year. But, I expect us to compete a lot this year. I'm thinking wild card or just missing out.
Yeah, that's kind of been, my narrative since Matt Rule took over is it's going to take 3 years before we're, competing for the NFC again. So I think, last year was kind of a throwaway year. This year we push for that wild card, and next year we make a real push, to win the NFC. So yeah, like you said, we'll be in contention for a wild card. That's how I see it.
I agree. But at the same time, let's say Sam Darnold comes out and plays some good football. Well, some of those games that we just marked as a loss, and he goes a W. But at the same time, if he plays like shit, we could lose a lot more games. So
that's true too. We could be talking about Sam Howell or whoever the top quarterback will be coming out next year.
I can't wait till next year when we go back to this video and just talk about how right or wrong we were.
We'll be 100% right. 100% right. We didn't say anything wrong this whole time.
But yeah, man, that's pretty much the show for today. There is one thing I wanted to say that I'm very happy of. They finally released the numbers for the rookies. I've been harping on it for weeks. Finally. And Terrace Marshall picks number 88. I love it.
Oh, yeah. That's right. I meant to mention that too.
I love it.
Huh.
And
yeah. I was shocked they gave away Greg Olson's number that fast. But, I guess you can't retire everything.
The way Panthers fans react, we would retire every number.
Yeah. Yeah.
No one's wearing 89. No one's wearing 90. No one's wearing 88. No one's wearing 1. I mean, come on.
Yeah. But, well, Jordan Gross and Jake Delhomme are in the Ring of Honor, but their numbers aren't retired. So I guess that'll be Greg Olson's destiny here in a little bit.
Yeah. And I could have swore like a season or 2 ago, I saw someone wearing 89. I don't remember who it was. I don't remember if it was for a very short time. It could have been during the preseason when they didn't have any numbers to give out. I could have swore I saw someone wearing 89. I could be wrong. But that's a number I'd like to see retired, 89.
Mm-hmm.
I could see that. Maybe number 1 at some point. I think it's still way too early for that because he's still playing in the league, obviously. But the only other number I could see
now, but you got to retire it.
Yeah,
89, 59, and 1. You got to retire.
I think 59 should be untouchable, just because the way that he went out, respectfully retired before he got too old, got too many injuries. I think
honestly, 58 probably should be retired too.
See, here we go. We're talking. Every number should be retired. I don't know, man. It's tough. We'll see what they plan on doing. But I was just hyped that he picked a number in the 80s. I think that's kind of cool.
I know, right? Because I thought for sure he was going to pick a single digit.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
For
So
sure.
I was quite shocked by that. Everyone else was, pretty standard stuff. So
yeah, and that 88 looks clean too.
It does look good. So we'll see how that works. But thank you guys again for tuning into the show. Sorry it took us so long to get to the schedule release, but we had some stuff going on. But here we are. It's our rundown. We're talking about between 8 to 10 wins, and I'm pumped, man. Now we don't have anything to talk about until training camp.
Yep. It's time to start coming up with some topics, man.
Time to start really reaching for some stuff.
Yeah.
But I think at the same time that could be really fun. We could talk about a lot of like random Panther stuff. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, dig in the vault for a little bit.
Yeah. So.
All right, man. Well.
All right, brother.
Good night, everybody. Appreciate you listening.
Good night. Thank you for listening.
Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe for the.
That's right.
For the boys, for the good guys.
That's right. And Brian Burns, please don't change your number. Don't do it. I'm warning you.
Yep.
You're gonna lose.
I know you're gonna hear this.
One whole jersey sale. How do you feel about that?
Hey, we could probably pull it off, honestly, because it comes up enough in the podcast anyway.
I think we could start a petition to.
You know what? We're not talking about anything from jersey, but jersey numbers from here on in the podcast.
Yep.
This is now a jersey number podcast only.
That's all it's about. I don't care about anything else, just the jersey numbers.
Yep, that's it. All right.
All righty, man. We'll catch you later. We'll see y'all next week.
All right, everybody. See you.